Hi, welcome to Saunders Sisterhood. I'm Carrie, and this is a YouTube channel for the single, childless person. Today, I'm going to talk about coping. You'll see that there are other videos on this YouTube channel about coping. And the reason that I put multiple videos about a similar topic is that different coping skills can be helpful for us during different times in our journey of being childless, not by choice. So, I'm going to add some additional suggestions. And if some of the other videos didn't resonate with you, maybe these will, depending on where you are on your path of grief and acceptance. So, number one, tell your story. This can be tricky for those of us who are childless, not by choice, because we usually experience a lot of situations where when we share how we feel, when we tell people that we don't have kids, we get a response where it's very clear that people don't know what to say, what to do, or they don't know how to be supportive around that. Even if they want to be, they don't have the societal tools that tell us how to support somebody who is childless, not by choice, in the same way that we have some societal norms that tell us how to support somebody going through more traditional forms of grief. So I understand that this one can be tricky. But telling your story can also be a really powerful way to own your truth, to validate for yourself the experience that you've been on. And when you're ready, be a part of representing the fact that you can get through it and it's messy and it's up and down. And you can lead this life that's purposeful, meaningful, and fun for other people who may be at more of a beginning stage than you. There's multiple different ways of telling your story. One is journaling. If you're not sure how other people will respond, or you yourself maybe need some clarity in terms of really synthesizing where your journey started, the middle part of your journey, and now the ongoing piece of your journey, journaling can be a really helpful piece for that. Just start writing. And you may not do it all in one sitting. You may do it in multiple sittings. That's okay. But just start putting your experience down on paper versus keeping it all in your head. As you start to feel better about doing that, or as you start to move forward in terms of acceptance, maybe you want to go on a podcast, or maybe you want to write your experience down on a blog or on Instagram or on social media, or somewhere different. This can be really helpful to say your story out loud and know that you're putting your experience out there, and it can be really helpful for others too. And sometimes contributing can be healing. Again, you want to be careful about where you do this, how you do this, and really trust who you're doing this with. There's lots of podcasts out there that, even if they're not specific for people who are childless, not by choice, podcasts are often looking for people who have a different story or experience to share that isn't already out there. And those of us who are childless, not by choice, we often have a story that isn't out in the public. So it would be something new and different. Again, do this in a trusting place, in a trusting way. And you don't have to do it by any means. Journaling can be a really good place to start, and more of a non-threatening place to start. 2, write out your goals. When we accept childlessness, not by choice, or there's something that occurs that definitely puts a marker in the sand of this is not happening. When you're ready, consider what your goals are for this life that isn't going to include children. A lot of us don't spend a lot of time contemplating this in a way in which it's a reality. It's our biggest fear. We worry, we stress, we get really anxious around it. And we don't always put out there what our life would look like without it. We want to put out the good vibes. We want to manifest this happening for us. And now, when we've accepted it, we have to manifest or put out into the world those new goals that we have for ourselves. So write them out. Maybe 3-month goal, 6-month goal, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year goals. Take a look at your life and what you think you would like to do. And you can start small. Number 3, get curious. Try new things. Try Maybe you're trying a new hobby, a new sport, a new exercise. Maybe you're going to go somewhere new. For in terms of a new sport, there's a lot of people out there trying pickleball. I remember like 5 or 7 years ago, like my mom was doing pickleball. And now there's people my age or younger that are starting to do pickleball. It's something different that many of us are new at. And so odds are you're going to be an experience where everybody's learning it and no one's super, super good at it. So it can be a really good place to start. Maybe you want to try a different exercise. About a year and a half ago, I started doing spin class for the first time. And I really enjoyed that. It's different, it's fun, and it gets you out a little bit. And it's not something that I had been doing before, I really even thought before, but I thought, here's one close to my house and I got to get out of the house. So be curious and try something different. Number 4, I'm going to spend a little bit of time here, but it's set boundaries. This can be tricky. This can be difficult. And I don't mean this in a way in terms of set boundary in a way that doesn't make you feel good about it or makes you feel like you're creating conflict with people. Setting boundaries isn't conflict. Setting boundaries is establishing clarity. And there's a quote, I can't remember who says it, but it's to be unclear is to be unkind, right? And so setting a boundary is a way to enhance and cultivate and establish your relationships for the people who are around you. So if you get invited somewhere that you don't want to go, a baby shower, a first birthday party, a wedding shower, things like that, you don't have to go, even if it's your best friend, even if it's somebody who you love and support more than anything. You don't have to go to that. You can decline an invitation in a way that's affirming to yourself and supportive to that person. Don't put yourself in a spot that you're not ready to be in because you're not sure how to say no. Maybe you say, I'm not in a space where I'm going to be able to go to this event today. I love you and I support you. And I would love to maybe go out to dinner so you and I can celebrate individually. Give an alternative if you can. That's just an example, something to that effect. If you get asked a lot of questions that you're sick and tired of answering and or you feel like aren't anybody's business at this point, it's okay to set a boundary on that. You don't have to take it and and just accept that you're going to get all of these questions because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You don't have to be rude about it either. There is a balance to this in a way where you can affirm yourself again and maintain and cultivate this relationship with this person who loves you and cares about you. So for an example, if you get asked a question that you're sick and tired of hearing, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? What's your dating life like? And you're tired of it. I can relate, but you're tired of it. Maybe you answer by saying something like, I'll let you know when there are any updates in these areas. Thank you for your interest, but I don't have any updates at this time, but I'll let you know when I do. You can say that and move on. And typically that's the kind of response where people may get the hint that this isn't something that you want to spend your time answering. If they don't get the hint, then when they ask you again, you may need to be more direct and may need to say, I'm not going to be answering questions about that. Thank you for your interest. I'll let you know when there's something that I'd like to share. So, a couple of different ways to cope. Tell your story, write out your goals with your new life, get curious, and set boundaries. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments before, if you have any other suggestions for people on how to respond when they'd like to decline an invitation or set a boundary related to answering questions. And for more information about supports, resources, and encouragement for the single childless person, remember to follow Saunders Sisterhood.